Hey everybody, it's Anna here. I know it's been a while since I recorded a rant for you guys, and I'm actually trying to get into doing these on a regular basis again. I was looking back and listening to some of the old rants I did on Butch Hartman and Von Helton, and honestly, I'm actually really proud of those videos. I think it's some of the best content that we put on the channel. And since you guys seem to like my rant videos most, which are getting at morons on the internet, I suppose that I can't help but dive into another one for you today, because recently I watched a response video to one of our Under the Influence streams by who else but Lord of Patriarchy, also formerly known as WarCorp666, as a lot of you guys might know him as, and even more of you guys probably just know him for the meme of being that botched clone of TJ Kirk. And if you don't know WarCorp as TJ's botched clone, you know him for that infamous fucking video telling a little girl that feminism is stupid, a genuine video that he had back on his old channel. I wonder why he got driven off that one and had to make a new one. Now, these days he goes by Lord of Patriarchy. I refuse to call him that, so we'll just call him by his first name, which he's made public several times. We'll just call him Dave. So Dave, I want to get out a response to you in this type of format because I feel like it's a little bit more personal, and it's also a lot harder to make all the points that I want when I'm having a panel of people on the show, and I want to give them a chance to speak their mind as well, whereas you on your streams, it's basically just you all the time. In fact, the only time that you ever have anyone else on your streams is when you're bitching at them. Goes to show how likable of a person you actually are, Dave. But I digress. So Lord of Patriarchy decided to respond to one of our streams, and it was one of our streams where we were talking about one of the videos that he was talking about. And throughout this video that we're responding to of Dave's, I wasn't just trying to make the point that the video itself and his arguments were weak. I was also trying to make the point, and this was the even more important thing about this entire segment in my opinion, that the entire article was bogus clickbait, fake news, and it was just something that Dave was clearly trying to talk about, grasping at straws because he had absolutely nothing better to talk about that day. Just like someone like The Quartering, all these other fucking anti-SJW outraged YouTubers, they wake up every single day and they think about, what can I get pissed off about today? What can really piss me off so I can make a video about it, or 3 to keep up the YouTube algorithm and get those clicks and views. The difference is that at least I can give someone like The Quartering that he's successful doing it, whereas the only time I've ever seen him crack significant views is videos that were up on his channel years ago. Back when he actually did kind of videos like this, where it was just him in front of a screen, doing some rants and shit like that. As much as I thought a lot of what he had to say in those rant videos were cringe, I think they're a lot more entertaining than what he does now. All Lord of Patriarchy does now is these several hour-long streams where he tosses back like 23 fucking beers and just becomes an incoherent mess by the end. This is what happened in this stream right here. Lord of Patriarchy had several things lined up for this live stream in which he responded to a bunch of shit, and we were the thing that got responded to just at the end. So what we got was a drunken, incoherent Dave who couldn't even put together a semblance of a decent fucking point. In fact, all Lord of Patriarchy manages to successfully do is insult both me and Jamie's gender several fucking times. He comes out and he calls very drunkenly Jamie a bitch in quotations. Bitch. Bruh. I'll have a link to that. Comes out and completely disrespects my gender. He says, "Oh, you're not Anna? And by the way, you're not Anna. Fuck you." Bruh. I don't know what the fuck that's supposed to mean. I mean, I clearly know what that's supposed to mean, but I have no idea why he just said that out of nowhere. And the thing that he says before that is the really laughable thing. Because I was just pointing out the absurdity of this article, and the gist of this headline, which is completely fucking ridiculous that this was even a headline to begin with, was that there was 2 people getting married, and a father-in-law ended up insulting his daughter-in-law-to-be because there was some confrontation over there only being served one option when someone had not a preference for lemon or some bullshit like that. Look, it's the most meaningless fucking headline that you can possibly imagine. I'm not even gonna bother to look it up and do it justice. I'm not gonna do the research. Even though I like to do my research and be informed on shit, I refuse to go to that Yahoo News article and give it the time of day. It's one of the most bullshit non-news things I've ever fucking seen a headline for of all time, and it doesn't surprise me that even Lord of Patriarchy is able to find some semblance of, oh, this is the end of the modern male. Men are just so fucking cucked because this one stupid headline from Yahoo News. Well, you know what? The only people who use Yahoo News seriously are genuinely a bunch of fucking Yahoos themselves. Or who the fuck goes to Yahoo for anything these days anyway? What? Are you still stuck in like the early 2000s? Based on your political views, I wouldn't be that surprised by that. So yeah, combine the fact that our friend Dave here has some not so subtle transphobia combined with fuck all arguments just goes to show that even if you weren't drunk, you'd still have this same pathetic standing. And you know what? It doesn't just stop at those low jabs. It doesn't just stop at his nothing arguments. since Lord of Patriarchy also likes to rewrite history, which really shouldn't be that fucking surprising of someone with his beliefs, really. Remember that discussion? Not a debate. It was meant to be a discussion that I had with Lord of Patriarchy on the Geek Room, alongside a few other people, but me and a handful of other people getting a one-on-one discussion, for the most part, with Lord of Patriarchy at any given time. It was at most 1, 2, maybe 3 people who were speaking to him during any given time frame. We all tried our best to take our turns, even though we just said a bunch of ridiculous bullshit and sometimes we all had to interject, but we tried our best to you know, straighten things out and we just have a good civil discussion with him. That's all it was meant to be, was a civil discussion. But no, in Lord of Patriarchy's mind, everyone who happened to be on that panel at any given time, including Frank, who didn't even say anything, counts. I think in reality, the most people who were on the panel in total during that stream was like 7 people, but that's counting Frank. So it was like 6 people who were on that, not including Dave, so that would make it 7. But also, like, it was only, like I said, 3 of those people at most talking to at any given time, and usually it was just 1 or 2. Usually it was mostly Billy. Toast got some time to talk to him, and honestly, I was just the one moderating for most of it. I brought up some questions and shit like that, putting out this narrative that we're afraid of him, even though I've gone on his stream when he just asked me completely impromptu, without any scheduling, to have a discussion. I had a discussion with him, which I thought I did an okay job with. Miss Parker seems to think I did a great job on that fucking stream, because it seemed like what got her interested in coming on our podcast to begin with. And we've had a great fucking time with Miss Parker. I've had a great time interacting with her ever since. So yeah, clearly that discussion I had made a good impression on some people. And I don't think that your discussion made a good impression on anybody, except for the people who are in your chat and confirm your own biases. Who, by the way, I can see why they might buy some of your bullshit, because you're feeding them bullshit like this, in which you claim that it wasn't just 8 debating you, but it was 12. This is news!
It wasn't 8, it was 12. That's what I walked into in that debate.
Now, dude, I don't know where you're getting the fucking number 12 from. You probably pulled it out of your ass, just like you pull statistics out of your ass in every talking point ever. Anything that's not anecdotal evidence, I believe that you... But yeah, you just make up bullshit. You have no arguments at all, and you have this is one of the most pathetic responses that I've ever seen in YouTube history. Remember the glory days of when people used to do responses to each other? Back when TJ Kirk and a bunch of these other, like, people... It was like a bunch of atheists and Christians. They used to do these responses back and forth. I believe that people are still capable of doing those good responses with each other all across the political spectrum. If you ever had that in you, and I do believe that you used to have some passion and ability to rant in you, now you've just evolved from being able to do like a 10-minute, somewhat concise rant to just this 3-hour nothing stream that nobody's gonna watch all the way through, because no one wants to watch your drunken ass do all that shit. Do you really think people care? You don't even bother to include timestamps. Dude, you don't care about this shit at all, and I know that you're probably just gonna look at this and say, no, I really don't care. At least pretend to value your audience's time that they invest into watching your content, dude, and try to put out something worth listening to. Can you actually look at your response? Can you actually listen to it back and say, oh, I'm impressed with myself? The only thing good about your entire response is when you admit that your dick isn't that impressive.
My penis ain't that impressive.
Oh, by the way, Lord of Patriarchy, I nearly forgot, so I'm just gonna splice this in at the end. Jamie wants to debate you. Stop ignoring her. She's already accepted your debate multiple times. Comment down below in the comment section, reach out to us on Twitter or Discord or something. Let's make this debate happen. At this point, you're the one who's not responding to our invite. We want to have a discussion with you. And you know what? Since I had a discussion with you on your channel last time, that you give us an opportunity to talk to you on one of our channels. So how about you have a discussion with us here on Underhaven or even on Jamie's channel? Both of us, especially Jamie, are willing to have a one-on-one with you. Anyway, guys, that was a really fun rant. I'd like to do more responses to Lord of Patriarchy. That wasn't even that in-depth, honestly. I have a lot more to say about the guy, but I had to respond to him because his response to us was one of the most pathetic showings I've ever seen out of the dude, legitimately, throughout his career on YouTube. This is the same dude who's most fucking famous for telling a little girl that feminism is stupid. Yeah, great, heavy brain intellectualism there, buddy. Alright, everybody, let me know if you want me to rant about something else similar to this or something completely different. As always, guys, drop a like if you like this shit, comment down below, and even consider checking out the Patreon. It's just $1 a month if you want to support what I'm doing here. Alright, everyone. Normally I'd say stay toasty, as usual, but it's fucking hot outside, so I hope you guys are staying cool. Alright, you guys have a good one, and talk to you guys next time.
Blood shall run, there can be no power greater anywhere beneath the sun. force on earth is weaker than the feeble strength of one, but the union makes us strong. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. For the union makes us strong. It is we who plowed the prairies, built the cities where they trade, dug the mines and built the workshops, endless miles of railroad laid. Now we stand outcast and starving amid the wonders we have made, but the union makes us strong.